on his Sivir, as that's a Nidalee.
Do they just Nidalee Renekton it?
I mean, Nidalee Renekton would be the only way that I think I'd be all right with the Nidalee, and even then I wouldn't be all right with the Nidalee, you know? I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
Quota.
I think it's like is contractually allowed to play a few of them. We have seen this from him many, many times. We know that he loves to play the pick. Haven't necessarily seen all of the success, though, as that is an Azir. Doesn't exactly spark all of the joy for me, personally. And the Skarner's getting the zoom in, because that has been pretty powerful in the past. Fun drafts on both sides. Jump to the rift for game number 1. By activating a plant in the wrong spot and stuff like that can really wreck your clear. So hopefully Sponge is clean with it. Faker making sure that Yahoo is just not allowed up to the wave. And he's going to have to start drinking his potion pretty early on here. Very far, you know, maybe it's like 2.5 games or something like that, but still been doing a fair bit of winning on the champion, as Keria taking a lot here, as Sponge making his way down. Dredgeline gets Keria out of there, as Teddy with a 60% win rate on this Ezreal, as Yahoo is taking so much damage. We're kind of used to this, as you were talking about. Thankfully, we were set up for just how brutal this lane can be. Getting back to about 300 health. Sponge here to try and defend. Will be walking in. Faker has already rocket jumped. And now Sponge going to try and find some damage here. Not even going to get the Comet, because of course that plant doesn't slow.
See on the other side, you know, Teddy's very confident.
Oh, Empress Divide going to be thrown down. Faker rocket jumping, trying to get away. As Sponge is moving in. Oh, this is so dangerous. The flash has to be employed. And Ona not able to get too much, but does manage to nail that minion.
Yeah, really nice play from Yahoo there on the Azir, doing well in this matchup. And you know, Faker makes the correct decision. He rocket jumps towards the top side, away from DRX, and Ona?
Yeah, still just fighting Sponge here, but doesn't have a mid laner to support. And Ona just trying to get aggressive. He does have a Mega Gnar making his way down. Still takes a fair bit of damage there. It's enough with the threat of the prehistoric Yordle to get DRX out of here.
But I think
DRX down some shellfish.
They should have confidence here. Faker's still low. The Mega Gnar is now gone. Pleta is here. And you can see Sponge is challenging. We do see the Scuttle Crab going over to Ona, but not willing to let the grubs go.
Yeah, level 6 has been hit here by Ona, though, as there's the Zenith Blade. Pleta actually going in, grasping roots. Comes down as Ona is the focus, but Faker's already dived in. That's the first blood, and it goes to Tristana. Gets the reset there as well, as Frog's rotated down. It is a disaster for DRX, although they only lose one. They should also lose the grubs off the back end. Usually gets enough stacks for them to be this brick wall that DRX will not be able to get through.
You can see Ona looking to challenge on the Raptors there. He's really starting to take over in this matchup and pull a bit of a lead now.
Oh yeah, this is really dangerous. Grasping Root's going to get double value, but I don't know whether it even matters. Stranglethorns comes in, the knockup comes down. Dawning Shadow and Faker gets in there. Now Yahoo just trying to get himself out. The Emperor's Divide did absolutely nothing. Pleta trying to take matters into his own hands, but T1 just going to grab another one for their mid laner.
Yeah, such a big threat. It definitely feels like DRX. There's a significant goal lead built up now. It's 12 minutes, 2,500, but now they're looking for Keria to answer back.
Yeah, potential dive here, as there is the flash attempt onto Sponge, but they haven't picked up the turret aggro just yet, and he's used everything. Frog able to avoid, as now Keria should be going down here. Mystic shots, it's going to be able to be Teddy picking up the kill. And Frog seems to be okay for the moment, although he's not out of the woods just yet. Oh god, this must be so scary for the little Skarner, or the lawnmower, or the terrifying large Skarner. Whatever it is, he is in a whole host of trouble. Gumayusi does not want to be tanking this one, as the Impale goes wide, and that means they can pounce on in and grab the kill. Ona very close to going down there, but the juggling is pretty good.
The turret. So really smart from Sponge to bait that out. They're now in trouble.
And after flashes, yeah, walls don't really mean too much here for Frog, and finally the Stranglethorns get some value. DRX on the board. So incredibly scary. Keria, he's the one now with that spare time. Gumayusi going to turn up alongside him, and that should be the outer turret in mid lane just going down. Not a whole lot that DRX could do about it.
And you know, I'm going to be honest, if they'd stayed there to try and defend it, it would have just weakened their side lanes, you know? Like,
yeah, I would never do that.
Hey, we're casters, that's what we're supposed to do. You know?
Unless it's lore, in which case that can't be. As good buffer there from Faker, but he can't buffer the next one. There's the Flash Emperor's Divide. That's the kitchen sink, ladies and gentlemen, being used to take down the GOAT. And T1 should be able to use this to grab a little bit of extra control in mid lane. Yeah, this is not going to last very long. Teleport is going to be used here. That's going to bring Yahoo over, unless it was just interrupted by Keria, in which case he's not going to be there to join. Frog does find himself the Impale, as Dawning Shadow is going to be what locks down the kill onto the Skarner in the end. Teddy trying to get some autos down as, my goodness, Sponge, he's not even able to take the dragon without costing it him his life. As now, yeah, he will go down. Faker takes a lot of damage though, and those plants need to be respected. Carrier now doesn't have a lot of damage, and so Yahoo, they're just fighting over the honey fruit. Oh, this is a battle for the ages. Carrier, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. The Nautilus is just too strong as he takes down the pigeon, and look at that guy. Just saunters his way back to the bottom lane. Quiet once again.
And now Carrier's just proxy farming the wave behind the Azir tower.
Yep, trying to bait him into maybe getting him to leave so that then Zeus can come up and kill him as Dawning Shadow will interrupt the back.
What'd you do?
Oh, no. Well, you get a teleport from your Skarner.
I love how they're defending this tower so heavily when it's an Azir tower.
Wait, who's defending who? Like, Solar Flare going to connect here onto Carriers. Over the wall goes Frog, finds the Ram. There is the Impale, and they take down the Nautilus. They need a lot to do it. That still could get them some respite, and the Baron has just spawned. His center is undeniably pretty fantastic, though. Hasn't lost that many games. Now, like you say, T1 are going to do that T1 thing where they start Baron. Ward goes over, DRX with full information as to what's going on here. And Frog, he can get into that pit very comfortably. Sponge, a lot of range available as well. And harassment in a tight space is something that Zyra is very good at. So I don't think T1 will be able to take this one if DRX knows what's going on. Tristana things once again.
Oh, they've kind of forced DRX out towards the top side though, so now Teddy's left alone to defend the tower. It's going to go so fast.
Yeah, he does have a True Shot Barrage, but it's not going to be able to save this turret, and that is just going to explode. Teddy able to Arcane Shift backwards. Now the rest of DRX trying to make their way over. This is a deep flank from Frog, who's trying to get in there. He's invested his teleport for it as well. If they get nothing for this, it could be an absolute catastrophe. Faker gets rammed into the wall, but it doesn't really seem to matter because the Impale doesn't land. There's the ulti onto Pleta, though. He goes in. DRX now have rebuilt the Phalanx as the spear is going to miss. But T1 have just said, we'll just keep you at arm's length. We'll just throw out what we can find without hard committing. Is never mind. Gumayusi has to cleanse, and there's Teddy. Grabs the Trinity Force proc and takes down the center. Faker now has to get out of there, and DRX, they now have a slight man advantage, but not really a lot to turn it into if they want to be able to get this Baron. As Carrier booking it into the pit. Yeah, Ona's going to take a while to get over here. I think this Baron is going to go over to DRX. But what is going to happen elsewhere on the map? Faker actually deciding to teleport back in, and then Zeus teleports to the bottom lane. Well, let's see what they can get from it. See whether it does work out here. As Plants coming on out, trying to be frustrating. Pleta goes in, gets the rocket jump out of Faker. Should give Teddy some free time with this outer turret, and they will be able to at least take that. So, I told a lie. It was 7 turrets to 2 before. Now it's 7 turrets to 3. Getting our way back into this one. And it's not about the ones that miss, it's about that one that hits. Can really skew a fight in your favor. Teleport having to be invested off the back of a spear landing.
Oh, and now Dragon being started by Zeus. He can solo this. DRX sensed this. You know, they saw him take the Blast Cone. They're moving more aggressively now.
Yeah, Teddy once again taking a lot of damage as Faker down to 50%. Same can be said for Teddy, though. Really has to stand in this backline. There is the Drake secured by the Gnar, and Yahoo moving towards that top side because this inhibitor is still not back up yet. And Pleta taking a lot of poke damage if he decides that he wants to come on over here. Teddy over the wall. They maybe think, oh, there he is. He goes in. Gumayusi has to flash. And Sponge still here threatening. Depth charge going to be used on the Zyra, and they just burst down the Baron. Zeus is also just kind of winning the game casually by himself here as well. And DRX, I think they were stuck between a whole lot of different, very difficult decisions, and Spear is going to connect. Pleta is executed. Sponge, he throws down the Stranglethorns, but then he has to flash out of there. And I think this is the beginning of the end for DRX. Yahoo, there are a lot of plates spinning right now, but there's also a lot that are just lying strewn on the ground. They weren't able to keep up with all of them as T1 were just throwing too many decisions their way. Zeus, I don't know what that one was about, but he's got a GA, so he may as well dive underneath Nexus turrets, and he almost takes them all out as he does so. Onto the fountain goes Sponge, and he'll just have to watch as T1 finishes off the Nexus. They drop the ball in any one of these moments and T1 will capitalize. They absolutely did. Shoutouts to Teddy, though, did a lot of damage on his Ezreal. It just didn't really work out.